Alright. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We've got a big series for you. It's the Masters Coliseum 6. We got Basilisk, SERRAL in the top left. Opening up with a nice little extractor trick. CLEM in the bottom right, representing Team Liquid. So this is going to be the 15 hatch, 15 pool opening for SERRAL. It's going to give him the ability to get those queens and zerglings out very early. And I think this is a great opening to take the wind out of your opponent's sails, because you don't need to build lots of zerglings. You can just defend with queens. You can try to send 2 lings across the map if they don't scout you, and delay their command center if they build it. If they go for a 2 or 3 Rex Reaper, you don't really care. You just don't take a third. You build 4 or 6 queens on 2 base. You have such early injection lava that your drones come up really fast. And the reason for all of this is your hatchery is 10 seconds early, 11 seconds early on a normal hatchery, which is how long it takes a lava to spawn. So that gives you +1 lava early on. Your spawning pool is 10, 11 seconds early, which means your queens are early, which means your lava injects are early, which means you're even more lava ahead. So basically, or your larva, since I know Australians say lava and lava exactly the same word for us, basically, in how it's pronounced. Larva. We don't use hard R's in Australia. We're very sensitive about that sort of stuff. But anyways, point being, you just get maybe 3, 4, 5 more of those much earlier in the game, and it allows you to just drone on up, get a 2-base economy going. And if you want to do something like that roach speed shove that he did versus Maru on Neo Humanity recently, those sort of builds can be very effective. Any sort of 2-base aggression. The price you pay is because you had less workers mining at the start by building the earlier hatchery and pool, you have a bit less minerals at first, which means you can't afford a 3rd base and a gas at the same time. So SERRAL, by going for this slightly delayed gas, he's going to opt for that, and he's going to delay his 3rd base, and that's the price he's paying. Interesting to see, though, what his follow-up will be. Is that... Oh! 2-1-1. CLEM is opening up old school, baby. He's going a Reaper into Reactor. 2nd barracks hidden in the back. And we expect a factory and a gas to go down here in the near future as well. SCV outside the base. CLEM did play very safe with the SCV scout. We'll see how that goes. So how do you pronounce... It's a Bahax. It's not a barracks. It's a Bahax, and it's a Fahahi. That's exactly right, internet. that's definitely how we speak. We never ever pronounce an R. Oh no. It's always an ah. Bag. It's a bag. It's a Bahax. Yeah, if we applied that rule all the time, it'd be pretty hard to listen to me speak. I apologize. Anyways, 3 Marines building at a time. Oh, he's going 3 barracks. Okay, so it's not a 2-1-1. It's just a 3rd barracks. Interesting. Lair start. SERRAL's planning to do that quick roach build. I think. It could be a muta build. Remember, this is pre-ling speed, this lair, but I would expect a roach warren and another gas to go down soon. Yeah. Roach warren hasn't technically been spotted. So he's going to have the ability to just defend the 3 racks with roaches with roach speed. This is a weird scenario you don't get when you play against other Zergs, only SERRAL. This is such a safe opening, this 2-base roach build, guys. And a lot of people are like, well, but your 3rd's so late, it's so bad, isn't it? Well, the thing is, normally you need to build a lot of queens and units around 35 to 40 drones anyway. And the thing is, he gets to 37, 40 drones so much earlier than a normal player. And then he takes the 3rd, and you can still drone this 3rd base up, or you can mass roach. You have the flexibility, and it's kind of awkward as a Terran to figure out which way the Zerg is going. Is he massing roaches or not? Should I be aggressive or defensive? And I think your default with such a late 3rd should be to be defensive, but then if you notice the Zerg pumping mass drones, you're going to need to try to get something done. Cute Reaper grenade. The Reaper does go down. Clem's like, what is this build, man? He still didn't confirm the roach warrant. I think you can easily assume it, having seen no Zerglings. But I don't know. Overseer's going to poke in and see the 3x Great Scout. The early lair gives you such an early Overseer Scout. And guess what? He can save the energy on that early Overseer. So this is another advantage of going for the super early lair. That Overseer Scouts, and then you can contaminate the factory or the starport about a minute from now, which is awesome. 4th gas goes down here for SERRAL. 3rd base is almost up. He's just on 48 drones for now. Oh, and he even used the fast lair to drop forward creep tumors. That's so cute. Unfortunately, he gets caught by CLEM's frontliner Marines. But that's like, it's all these little details that SERRAL does that make this sort of play so genius. His roach speed isn't quite ready though, so he's got to be cautious, wait for a few more roaches in OVs to come out to allow more roaches to flood onto the map. And he's going to stim onto it as CLEM. I think SERRAL's a bit far out. SERRAL's a little low on roaches here. He's got more roaches coming out. He will be okay, but he's going to lose 2 queens, and that's really painful. Actually, it was only 1 queen, 5 roaches. Obviously a good trade for CLEM, cost for cost, as he gets a lot of those marines away. But roach speed is hot on his tails. He might need to stim again to get these guys home. As, oh man, stim lasts a while, doesn't it? It's 10 seconds, isn't it? It says a few seconds on the description. It doesn't actually tell you. I think it's 10. Okay. Careful, SERRAL. He really wants to try to do some damage, but against the 3 racks, yeah, good move by CLEM. He says just stand on the high ground so we can all shoot before he even gets vision. Good move. Remember, for those tuning in live into the Twitch stream, ! bracket if you guys ever want to know where the games are from. All Masters Coliseum games today. This is the playoff stage. Rather important match between these two kings of the European scene. 1-1 upgrade starting on the range for SERRAL. He's very committed to roach play right now. But this is so scary for CLEM because he's like, man, can I even secure this third? Where are my tanks? Did we see a contaminate yet, by the way? I don't think we did. I think SERRAL's forgotten about the overseer. Oh, he must have actually contaminated something. It's out of energy right now. Maybe he contaminated the starport to slow these medevacs down, which is actually massive because these marines are all damaged. He's being so annoying right now, is SERRAL. But CLEM does chase him off. Well done by CLEM. Yeah, so sorry guys, I must have missed a contaminate on the starport because that overseer's energy is very low. So really well done by SERRAL. 4th base in the bottom left. He's going tunneling claws and burrow as well. Dude, this is the new evolution of SERRAL. He's such a cheeky boy, man. I feel like, you know how Dark is normally the only player who does all these weird things like tunneling claws and oddball roach pushes? SERRAL has added in all of these strengths of Dark's weird build styles, but he doesn't get supply blocked and macros perfectly. Like, it's actually just, it's so awesome to see SERRAL, because this stuff's weird to play against. Normally SERRAL's weakness and the weakness of strong macro players is it's predictable what they're going to do. He's planning a roach drop in the main. Tunneling claw roaches will come in from the right, and he'll burrow these roaches in once he unloads them. This is such a cool style. Infestation pit, Ling speed, so he's getting ready to swap off of the roaches. He doesn't want to get stuck on Mass Roach Ravager, but he's a little slow to drone his 4th. That's one thing I'd be critical of SERRAL for here, guys. Roaches tunneling their way in the natural. It's way too early for him to have turrets yet. The double drop gets deflected in the main base. Turret starts in the natural. And the slow drop going to get in the main as well. Roach Ravager on the front as well. Cleans up a couple Marines there. Dude, this is so sick. Roach is already unburrowing, killing a bunch of SCVs behind the natural. Should be burrowing those as well. Oh, these roaches derping. Oh no, uncharacteristic miss micro there for SERRAL. The SCVs blocked them. They'd been queued to move into the mineral before fighting, and they got blocked from doing that. Queen's getting good damage on the medevac. Actually, one of the queens not targeting. So one queen goes down, the other one still there. There's only 3 queens with anti-air for SERRAL here. SERRAL jumps up, biles the tank down. Nice shove in the front. He's still looking for those opportunities. Oh, that siege tank barely survived in the main base. CLEM hanging on, not letting the chaos get out of hand. He's doing very well, but guess what? His engineering bays are idle right now. His engineering bay, I should say. Wait, he only has 1? No, he has 2. 1 in the wall off as well. He starts +2 weapons. 2-2 is actually on the way. SERRAL is happy to stay Roach Ravager. I thought he was going to swap in his Zergling upgrades. I don't mind it. I think he's got the numbers advantage. Looks for the biles there. This is not a terrible fight, but the tank in the back does scare SERRAL back momentarily. And he will take out that bunker. Definitely could bile down the refinery from the high ground as well. Another roach gets scanned in the back of the natural. I wouldn't mind him loading up more roaches into that main base. I think just sending more roaches continually into the main is a great way to stress CLEM's multitasking, find mistakes. Hive is now on the way, but SERRAL didn't get the big advantages he want. I feel like SERRAL, he doesn't have the gas up on the 4th. He's just taking it now. He's only just got to 75 drones. CLEM has actually deflected all of these weird moves very well. Doesn't feel like it's paid off for the Finnish player. France holding strong for the first time in the last 100 years. He's, you know, Clem's just kind of holding the line right now. He's got +2 armor on the way, 4th command center coming up, and an overlord going to drop more roaches in the main, as he should. Clem's bringing some of that World War I dog to this one. Look at this. He's going to go for a sneaky counter-strike in the main. Dude, Hive's not ready. Hive's not ready. Oh, SERRAL caught with a big gap in his vision. His roaches are trying to get up there. They're going to take a while to get up. Oh, 15 drones already going down. I think Clem should have focused down the upgrades. If he focuses down the Evos and gets out, that's great. He gets the Hive. Oh my god, he's actually just winning the fight. He's actually just winning the fight. SERRAL lands a fungal ambush in the middle of the map. Oh, Clem thought he could dive through the middle because SERRAL was distracted. SERRAL wrecks his army in the middle of the map with an amazing ambush and has Tunneling Claw roaches in the back. The problem is he didn't send enough back to win the fight. Clem is winning the fight in SERRAL's main base, which is a disaster for the Finnish player. 2-2 upgrades. Dude, if they get denied, you're kidding me! He lets it get to 5 seconds from finishing and then denies the +2 range. The Carapace will finish just before that Evo Chamber goes down. SERRAL's in trouble right now. He is way down in workers and he's looking pretty dead in this game. Some cool ideas from SERRAL, but he didn't quite find the mark this time around. Just a bit of miss micro on the Roach Burrow in the main initially. Maybe a little slower on his Burrow in the natural as well. And the lack of queens for air control, I feel, has thrown him out of his element a little bit because these drops were able to just dictate the pressure in this north side more than they should have been able to. Oh, he's going to drop on top. Okay, Clem. That's actually insane. SERRAL was so not expecting it, though. He actually let him unload. Oh, man, a lot of those units go down. He does lose that Overlord, but a lot of those units do fall for Clem. Clem's got a 4th base up. I mean, SERRAL's on 49 drones. What can he do? Basically, he doesn't have any infestors. He's trying to remake an infestation pit. He doesn't have a hive, so he's just making lair tech, lurkers, roaches, and hydras. And he's got a big army, and he's got 1-2 upgrades, which aren't the worst. So if SERRAL can find like an amazing flank on Clem's army or something, yeah, this could still work out. Jumps on top of those guys, not the worst fight for him. But if Clem just plays slow and careful, there's no way he can lose this game. The only reason I think he could lose from here is because it's Clem, and slow and careful are basically not in the Clem dictionary. Clem's dictionary, if you look through it, you look for words with the meaning like passive, defensive, solid. It's all just like aggro, in your face, stabby stab. Like that's how Clem plays StarCraft and gets a pretty good fight. There's still one lurker on the left side. Same time though, Big Roach Ravager backstab comes in the natural. In the main base, the drop cleans up the Hydra Den, the Lurker Den, and the Spawning Pool all go down. SERRAL's tech is completely gone, guys. All SERRAL can build is roaches, but he's finding some decent damage. This tank goes down. That tank should fall as well. SERRAL microing on top of it. Down in the bottom left, though, he is under heavy assault. That tank finally goes down. He hasn't really killed any of the workers yet, though, and Clem's reinforcing bios should be able to clear this up eventually. SERRAL tries to shove on top of those tanks. They're unsupported right now. The tanks will all go down. SERRAL takes some pretty decent fights considering, as I said, Clem does not know how to just slow down and calmly kind of push the advantages and build them. I still think he's in a massive advantage in this game. But yeah, he's given a few opportunities for SERRAL to at least make it a bit of a scrap fest. All right, we've got a hive on the way as well as some roachies. Double drop going to go around the north. Clem's still got the extra workers. He's got 3-3 on the way. He's adding ghosts. Not that he really needs them against just Roach Hydra. He's also got double tank production. I don't think he could lose from here. This has been a really good handling of Clem, of a very dangerous and different opening from SERRAL. I think it's so important to win the first game in the series. I think whoever wins in the first game between a Clem and SERRAL match, I don't know what the stats are. I haven't looked them up, but I have a sneaky suspicion they have a very high percentage of winning the rest of the game. Double lurker drop comes in. That one gets scanned. This one gets sniped. It got wedged between the factory and the mineral line. Double drop on the high ground. Looks like they got biled. A few of those do fall. SERRAL tries to shove the front. He realizes he's got to get it done here or now. He accidentally burrowed his Ravages. Oh, he meant to burrow the lurkers, but he accidentally burrowed the Ravages. SERRAL with a little misclick there. Just a little bit of fumbling of his army control. Clem has 14 medevacs. Holy crudsicles. Best healthcare in the world for these soldiers on Babylon. They are getting, yeah, all sorts of treatment, man. That's great. His army, actual fighting units, is not that big. It's 4 Marauders, 12 Marines, 3 Ghosts. So he definitely needs to keep up the bio production and stop building medevacs for now. But having 14 medevacs is going to give him unlimited healing. 5th Command Center building for Clem. The fact that SERRAL's keeping the supply so close, it's very surprising. This is 3-3 bio versus Roach Hydra. Like, it is game over, right? I know. Roach Hydra is meant to be up like 30, 40 supply and have even upgrades. He's down 3 upgrades and down in supply and down in bases. Like, that big Doom drop in the main just did too much damage. And I love that SERRAL ambushed the army in the middle of the map while it was all happening, but he knows he's out of this game. Clem weathered the storm. Maybe SERRAL should have droned his 4th up and gone to Hive. He committed a bit too much to the Roach Ravager, didn't find enough damage, and Clem struck back with the Doom drop in the main. Nicely done by Clem. All right, nice game 1 there for Clem, weathering a bit of the chaos, and finds, you know, gets to the late game, and he kind of, I think he just kept picking off queens, were a really big momentum shifter, because SERRAL was already playing a low queen style in that last game, and losing a few of those, just, he had no way of really pushing those medevacs out of his territory, and he just lost too much vision on that north of the map. SERRAL is going for 15, hatch 15, pool again. I think it's a good opening, and I wonder if this is just his standard opening as that 2-base Roach build. It's a pretty solid build, especially if they're doing a barracks wall off. Remember, this build dies to just Mass Roach Ravager pushing and biling down because you lose all your production if you lose control of this area. And usually siege tanks are very slow to help you defend. Ooh-wee. All right, yeah, he's going to take the gas at 1 minute 25 again. So very similar build to last time, guys. And notice he should stack that worker on one of those far patches. Oh, he does derp it just a little bit there. A slight miss micro on his drones for SERRAL. There we go. He fixes it up very quickly. He's going to send 1 worker to the natural, and then he's going to start rallying onto gas here as well. I think he only does 2 workers on gas, though. The 3rd worker is not as efficient, so he'll pull this worker off. Minerals, one of these far patch, this guy. There we go. Yeah, so 2 workers on gas, and then he just rallies to the natural, everything else. Very cool. I like this opening for SERRAL. Super efficient. Queens are both started. Notice he doesn't have to build a single Zergling because those queens are out so much earlier than Zerglings normally are. What are we doing, mate? Oh, it's a fake 3-Rax Reaper. He's trying to fake 3-Rax Reaper by hiding the command center, but if SERRAL's Overlord just commits in and sees this, this is like really bad for Clem. If that Overlord doesn't turn back... Oh, he sees it! SERRAL sees it! And his queen's in position to defend the Reaper as well. He double injects. His queens are already deflecting this Reaper. And Clem trying to get very fancy there. And SERRAL literally just sees it and is like, lol. Dumb opening, man. He started the Roach Horn and then he cancels it because he realizes, oh, I only need that if it's 3-Rax Reaper, not versus 2-Rax Reaper. That's awesome. So he was trying to get SERRAL to go into Roaches. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, he may be, I mean, the thing is you can't put the command center there because of the gas. So where else are you going to hide it? There, it's like, yeah, that does slow down his follow-up quite a bit. This is very uneconomic for Clem versus super economic 2-base opening for SERRAL. Oh, he gets a drone though. SERRAL Spore tricks the wrong drone. Good move by Clem. That lair starts up very early. Sorry, guys. 3rd command center on the way. Okie dokie. Clem playing double gas factory, then 3rd CC. So it's just going to be a 2-1-1 sort of follow-up. He hasn't walled off yet. Let's hope he doesn't forget that. Wall off's pretty important. Be funny if he says, well, against Roach Ravager, I actually don't want to lose all my depots and get supply blocks. So he sees the Roach Horn now. SERRAL plays 4 queen into triple gas Roach Horn. I love this. And all the new drones just fill up those gases. Overlord's coming out here as well. The fact that SERRAL's doing a super efficient 2-base Roach build, my old Bronze to GM is very happy right now. Even SERRAL thinks this is good at pro level. Oh, 1 hit point queen. Clem's malding. Clem is malding. He sends another Reaper in to get the kill, even though it's going to cost him the Reaper 100%. Will he get a drone? No. Oh my god. Clem not too happy about that. He's going to send another Reaper and try and get a drone. You can tell Clem's like, screw you. I'll kill more drones. Get wrecked. He's going after that drone. Thirsty Reaper. Oh. But SERRAL with a good Spore trick. Alright, 3rd command center is turning into an orbital. Naturals landed. Marines are building. He's building a tech lab on the factory and he needs to get a siege tank out ASAP because already up at 46 workers, 2 bases saturated, the 3rd base halfway done. Roach speed is already a 1/3 of the way complete. SERRAL can just mass like 20 roaches and maybe shove this ramp. That's why the bunker's going down for Clem. He realizes how threatening this, like, because this can basically be a 5 minutes 30 roach push with just like 12, 14 roaches with roach speed. That's a scary thing to deal with. SERRAL, though, is just kind of getting map control, pushing a few roaches out, pushing back the Reaper, and he's droning hard behind this. And he's just going to play the economic bit. Meanwhile, Clem, he's only on 2 racks, and he's spending his money on tanks, bunkers. You know, where's his engineering base? Where is his extra barracks? Where are these gases? They're not there because he's worried about the roach push. And I was telling you guys, it's hard as the Terran to figure out, is it going to be the roach push? Will he drone the third? This Reaper is on a mission to get that information right now. And Clem is going to see a lot of drones and go, okay, it's a more economic version of the build. Good spore trick to save it. And Roach Queen deals with it. Double drop going towards that main base. SERRAL's vision. Main base got punished last game. But this is good for him this time. Roach speed allows you to jump on top. Gets rid of a Marine. Damages a medevac. Behind it, where are the extra barracks? Third barracks goes down. Single engineering bay is upgrading. The second engineering bay, he didn't have the gas to start that. But up on 4 gas now, so hopefully Clem fixes that in the near future. Realizes that is missing. There we go. +1 armor starts. Combat shields is almost done, and he's going to 5 barracks. But down a good 16, 17 workers, and with tunneling claws and burrow already on the way, SERRAL's ready to create some issues. You might be like, well, it's not as good when it's not a surprise, tunneling claws. I totally agree with that. On the other hand, oh, good job. Gets a queen, gets a cancel there. 2 queens have gone down this game, guys. There's only 3 queens. I don't like this low queen play that SERRAL's doing. I think he's giving a bit too much opportunity to Clem to annoy him with these drops. I really would just love to see him build 2 more queens right now and always have a squad of 3 queens with the roaches damaging these medevacs. Otherwise, a guy like Clem who's this fast, he's going to take advantage of you with the positioning. Whereas if you're getting a few hits on these medevacs each time, it just forces Clem to be a little bit safer with those. Marines coming in on the north side. Nice move, man. Gets another queen. Yeah, SERRAL's got to replace these queens. And he's got to get that map vision out a little bit more. He's got some tunneling claw roaches trying to get in, but Clem not letting them in right now. Oh, he lets him in. SERRAL's like, let me in, please. He doesn't know about that turret trying to build. Roach drop in the main. This time with overlord speed. I love it. But that turret comes up. Those roaches get hammered. Roaches in the main do delay the armory by a few seconds. Start to clean up these Marines as well. And not going to get too much else, but oh, he's attacking the third. There's only a tank and a few Marines there. SERRAL can actually overwhelm that, but the tanks on the high ground will keep him safe. But he can bile the command center if he wants to. The roaches in the main, looks like some of them got cleaned up. Oh, barely gets that one out of scan range. And he's got 2 up in the top of the main as well. But turret on the low ground, barely had detection there. Ravager's going to come in, try and bile that tank down. But those tanks on the high ground and the natural keeping him safe. SERRAL's overcommitting right now. So SERRAL's doing a good job of harassing. He can keep biling these workers, picking them off, as long as he stays out of that tank range. Like, if his Ravagers just keep harassing, this is good. But look at that. The Viking cleans up the drop. Single roach in the back of the main is going to get cleaned up. And SERRAL needs to go Infestors. He's got 2-2 already on the way, so he's ahead on those upgrades. And he needs to go for, like, you know, 4th base gas, most importantly, which he doesn't have. He's still on Roach Infestor. Okay, I think if he leans back and waits for Clem to push him, this can work okay, and you could still kill him, because Clem will always give you an opportunity to fight. Clem's trademark weakness is he just can't keep it in his pants. And if you can rely on someone dropping trow and charging into a crazy engagement, you can set up traps for him. Oh, Ravagers on the front line. 3 Ravagers go down just like that. Very bad fight there for SERRAL. Just positionally, those Ravagers were in front of the Roaches, and he loses a bunch of expensive units. So Clem's going to dance around with the quad drop. His tanks are in super defensive position. He's very willing to give up control of his third base as long as he doesn't lose his natural. And he's just going to do big, crazy Marine counters. Hives on the way. Those double gas on the 4th base way late for SERRAL here. SERRAL's going to have to be very sparing with what gas he commits at Hive Tech. He can't afford Lurkers and Vipers, so it's either one or the other. Roach Ravager chasing out. He could go Broodlords, but he doesn't have a Spire. Broodlords is actually surprisingly efficient. If you just go for like 5 Broodlords to force all their tanks to unsiege, your Roach Ravager Infestor becomes very effective. These Roaches waiting for Clem to overcommit elsewhere so they can show themselves. Marines on the left still clearing creep. SERRAL's map control is getting limited. Nice fungal, but he loses an Infestor. SERRAL's control not on pinpoint accuracy. Clem's maybe aggression is just a bit too much for him. There we go. SERRAL runs in with a big pack of Roaches. I love this move. splitting some in the natural and some in the main right now. He's going to go after these SCVs. These roaches trying to burrow around. He's going to split these roaches up as best he can. The roaches in the main starting to get some damage. Siege tank is sieging. Army on the right side. Roach Ravager gets a decent angle on the bio, but plenty of tanks. Great pullback by SERRAL. SERRAL finds a siege tank kill in the main base. The roaches in the natural are still alive. They survived. Here, the marine tank is pushing though. And oh, SERRAL, get out of there! Get out of there, SERRAL! This is not a good fight! This fourth base he took, easier to defend from drops, but that tank spot is brutal. Another siege tank goes down in the main base. I mean, the fact that tanks and SCVs are dying is not great for CLEM, but he's got such a good tank position. SERRAL just needs to give this base up. If he keeps fighting here, he will lose this game because those tanks are getting crazy efficiency. Roaches in the back of the natural get up to 11 worker kills. The good thing for SERRAL is CLEM probably thinks that's the end of those roaches. There's still 3 roaches in the left of that base and a roach hiding in the back of the main. That's going to unburrow now as well. These roaches are going to come back in as well. Queen's starting to take out these medevacs on the left side would be nice. It looks like most of those tanks on the right did die. How many tanks are left in this field? Only 5. The medevacs, one of those gets shot down. The others do escape. Roaches once again splitting up. There's no scans. There's no scans, and he lost the turrets. These roaches being a nuisance. Up to 19 workers killed. Units lost tab. 1,800 resources in favor of CLEM. However, SERRAL did defend this fourth base. I really want to see him expand to the top right corner and, yeah, get some safer expansions. He's going for lurkers. So I told you we can't go Vipers and lurkers because he doesn't have the gas. Another scan. Going to catch one of those roaches, 2 of those roaches. Third roach on the left will survive for at least a few seconds longer. And the Overseer in the back, he can actually contaminate +3 when it starts. But that has not begun just yet. Roaches at the front unburrow, kill a siege tank. And they're going to try to sneak past. Another scan does go down to take him out. I mean, the thing is, all these scans are slowing down CLEM's income. We can look at the units lost tab, but he's used like 12 scans. I would guess maybe 10, 12 scans to clean up these roaches. That's about 2,500 minerals that he would have mined. Maybe 2,200, something like that. Ghost Academy's on the way. Overseer still waiting to contaminate, probably waiting to see the flashing red lights. SERRAL does see the flashing red light on that engineering bay, and he says, cool, that's my target, and he does a contaminate. Beautiful, beautiful. He's going to delay that upgrade by about 30 seconds. Fantastic job by SERRAL. He's not able to start 3-3 because his gas is too low. He's only on 72 workers, but remember, he was fighting pretty well in game 1, even when it was in a very bad position. He's not as dire of a position this game, but I still worry about his map control and his lack of creep spread. I think SERRAL's basically got a very good style, 90% of what he's doing, but it still feels like he's kind of desperate to kill at every moment of the game. CLEM never removed the Viking. He's not F2ing at all. I used to criticize CLEM for F2ing when the game got chaotic. He's not been doing that at all. That Viking's still on station. Double drop goes in, does get clipped by a fungal. A bunch of the Marines will go down. The drop will go into the main base. Mass drop goes past. Looks like the Viking did just kill a few units in an Overlord. Lurker drop tries to get in, which is a cool move, but there's a siege tank already in range the moment he has scan. The bio should not really be shoving into that. Just let the tank handle it, I think. But CLEM with a beautiful spread in between the production, and he gets a pretty decent fight there. A lot of the bio gets damaged, very little going down. SERRAL shoves the front at the same time, though. Wow, SERRAL's got lurkers on all sides. He doesn't have enough scans. There's no way he can scan all of these lurkers. Dude! SERRAL. Oh my god, that was his win condition from the start. Let me rewind and explain that, guys. Remember I said he'd already baited 10, 12 scans with the roaches. The tunneling claws set up for the lurker finishing move. Because he knows if he can unload like 8 lurkers in the main, that's going to cost scans. And he has a lurker come in from the right. And he comes in with lurkers here, 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 here. You need like 8 scans and crazy positioning to deal with that. And he's like, you can't deal with all of that. I know there's always a weak point here where Terran doesn't have that many orbitals yet. And if I just keep making you scan, like, you actually need to build a Raven against this style. Because I'm really just spreading you out like that. Great play by him. He defended the drop just barely with a few Queens and Roaches and Ravagers at the same time. His economy might not have been great, but SERRAL setting up for such a slick finish there. Just exhausting CLEM scans, constantly hitting him in the backside from all angles. That is a really cool style from SERRAL. All right, guys, let's go. We got SERRAL down here doing 15-15 again. It feels like he's just comfortable doing this opening. I do worry that he's doing the same opening every game. On the other hand, no ramp, and it's a 2-Rax Reaper Wall-Off. I want to see him just shove with Roach Ravager off 45 drones, 4 guys, just fully commit with like 6 Ravagers, 15 Roaches, and try to take these buildings down. I think that can work really well. We'll see, though, what CLEM follows up with. He's in the top right, and he's got a proxy 3rd barracks. Oh, I've seen him do this a few times recently. CLEM's been cheeky, mate. Why do you do the extractor trick? Yeah, so the reason you do the extractor trick, it's just to get an extra supply so you can squeeze one extra drone out. It just makes this build a little more efficient because you're building your overlord only after the hatchery. You basically go up to 15, you do an extractor trick, build 15 drones, then you make a hatchery. You then do another extractor to get back up to 15 supply because obviously the drone ate up one worker. And then you build your overlord and then your spawning pool. And that way the spawning pool and the hatchery both finish at the same time so you can start queens and it all kind of lines up really nicely. Now, SERRAL's very good at scouting. He should stay here. If he doesn't see a command center down at 2 minutes 20, then he knows this is a 3 Rex Reaper. Let's see when SERRAL makes this read. I do think his build is completely solid against this, but that closer third barracks is going to speed things up. We're on SERRAL's vision right now, guys. He's looking around. He sees no SCV there. And he's looking for that hidden command center in the main, because remember, Clem did that last game. Okay. Reaper's being annoying. Oh, okay. Does force 2 Spore Tricks. It's a bit of wasted money, and that slowed down the injects by a few seconds as well, just by distracting him. But notice SERRAL, he's looking around. He has not seen the third barracks, but he's also not seen a command center, and I think he can make the read. Ah, yes, this is a 3 Rex Reaper. He should be able to make that, because he sees the second gas, and he's like, dude, where's the third barracks? That's what he's wondering right now. SERRAL's starting a Roach Warren right now. Remember, he got tricked into starting it and then cancelled it in the last game because he scouted the command center. This time, he starts it a bit later because he thought the same thing might be happening, but Clem's actually committing this time. Oh, those queens getting low. Oh, one of the Reapers goes down, but dude, Clem was close to getting a queen and not losing a Reaper at all. Now he's lost 2 Reapers for a queen. That's a good trade for SERRAL. This is the power of building 4 queens this early. He's double injecting. He's going to keep droning as well. Second gas is on the way. He could do a counter attack as well, remember. So many Reapers being built. Like, how do you defend your natural? That's what I really wonder in this scenario. So Clem's still looking for damage, though. He's still got the mobility advantage. Queens moving into those grenades. That's a little dangerous. Back to the high ground. Oh, God. The roaches aren't here yet. Drones need to pull back. Oh, SERRAL just needs to buy a few seconds. He loses. Only 1 queen so far, but he's about to lose 2 more. That's a problem. The roaches are here, but he's already lost a lot of these queens. So nice trading there by Clem. Units lost tab is well in favor of him. And he's still building Reapers from the proxy. Probably the last one. I think he's going to lift that barracks in a moment. Reapers with a bit of a grenade there. Got to be careful of those roaches, though. Roaches. And he's building 5 more. SERRAL building a 3rd gas. Oh, SERRAL's going to go all out. SERRAL's going to all in. SERRAL's basically saying, no worries, I'm going to turn 10 roaches into 10 ravagers, and you can't deal with that. Because with 3 gas, he's going to have a crazy amount of gas income. This is some real killer instinct SERRAL's showing, but Clem with the next level read. Clem knows it's happening. Clem is building 2 Marauders and Concussive at a time. That's the counter to this. Oh, Clem with the next level read. Dude, SERRAL thinks, surely he's being greedy behind this. That's what you'd expect him to do. But he only sees the starport in the factory. He doesn't realize it's double Marauder production. Oh, this is so clever. Zergling's being built right now. I feel like that's a bit of a mistake for SERRAL, but I guess he's just so all in. He says any units will do, and I don't want to spend the gas on anything that's not Ravagers. Roaches from behind with a bit of a sanger, but the Reapers go right. Clem loses 5 Reapers in total, but that's only 3 more. He slowed the attack down. He knows it's coming. He's trying to build a bunker. If he can get 6 Marauders out, has 5 Reapers to bounce grenades, and what, a Marine and maybe some Widow Mines, but he doesn't have a tech lab in the main, unfortunately. The starport's building a tech lab. He's probably just going to go for a Banshee to shut this down. He will have 6 Marauders out. This is still very dicey. That's so many Roaches and Ravagers. The Zerglings aren't very useful units, but dude, okay, if he can get rid of the bunker, this could be big. He gets rid of a Reaper. Oh, he should kill that SCV building the bunker, because SERRAL did not focus the SCV down, though. He's going to have to pull back, make more Ravagers, and he's going to wait for 7 Ravagers to one-shot the bunker. Oh, he's got to be careful. That Concussive is very dangerous, SERRAL. SERRAL's going to lose a Ravager. Oh, almost. He's making more Ravagers right now. SERRAL's all in. A Banshee is building. It's almost here. The Banshee will spell the end of this, guys. He's trying to get rid of the barracks so units stop building, but Clem's doing a good job of the in and out micro. He's going to pull back that barracks. You do not want to lose the barracks because that's so much of your production. Here we go. Marine Marauder dancing in and out. The bunker's there as well. That's enough to one-shot it, I believe. Bunker goes down. Roach Ravager running forward. He's trying to focus the Marauders down. Great micro by SERRAL, but the SCVs do start blocking. The Banshee is here. SERRAL's going to have to start droning in a moment. He's going to have to start droning. He's done great damage so far. But it's not over till it's over. It's not over till the Fat Terran sings. Biling the barracks instead of spreading it across the Marauders may have been a mistake at that point. Banshee's starting to stack up some real serious damage. He biles it down, but he actually doesn't hit the barracks. He only hits the tech lab there. It is burning. He splits a Ravager into the natural. Zergling's getting in as well as the Roaches and Ravagers. Clem is in big trouble right now. SERRAL is getting on top, but the SCVs are fighting the Banshee. He does clean up the Ravager. If that barrack survives, that'll be big. That is one of his only 3 barracks that are still alive. The Roaches go after the Marauders. One Marauder goes down. That one Roach will get outclassed by a single Marauder. The last Roach in the main. That's it. That's it. It's held. SERRAL's still building Roaches right now, guys. He's rallying more Slowlings and Roaches. I think he's gone a little bit too all in. These are not Zerglings with speed. The barracks, 5 hit points, 4 hit points. Okay, 1 barracks goes down. There's only 2 barracks, a factory and a starport left, but that Banshee is on 13 kills, and she's an absolute menace. And these last 3 Roaches and 12 Zerglings, and he's building more? Wait, what are we doing? SERRAL's all in? Is he walking queens or something? What's he doing? So SERRAL's going to go more Roaches. He's still all in right now. He's going to make an Overseer to deal with the Banshee, but there's no cloak. And then he's just going to try and run across. Okay, so he's hoping to deal with the Banshee and then sneak the Roachling across. Let's go to Clem's vision. Clem, he needs to see this coming across. He's going to see no third base, and that's all you need to... Yeah, that's a good scout. He sees no third base, and he's like, wait, what are you doing? Clem has just confirmed that this is not a very economic follow-up. It could still be the third's going to go down in the second, and SERRAL's just been busy droning. He's going to start a 3rd command center and turtle up. Stim is on the way. He's building 2 Marines and a siege tank at a time. Nidus Worm's not a bad idea, but it might be a little too obvious. The building placement. This wall, he's never going to get Roaches and Ravagers from here in range of the tank unless it's for bile. So it's all about the corrosive bile. If he can kill the first tank quickly, that's big. Clem checks for it. Clem checks for it. This gives him time. He needs to move the tank back, move the bio forward, and basically protect that siege tank. Clem! A bit of a slow reaction for him. He's pulling the Banshee back as well. SCVs are being pulled. He's going to try and reposition these units. That tank's actually going to come very far forward. Second tank pops out in the open. That's not good for him. That is not good. Where are the Ravagers? The Ravagers need to bile that siege tank right now. He does bile it down, but he gets some killer shots off. And that siege tank siege is on the far left. The Roaches and Ravagers need to bile it down right now. That tank siege is up. Transfuse does go down. He lands double bile on the tank. It'll fall. Oh my god. If he can get rid of the Banshee with the Queens, the Ravagers and Lings are going to do this. SERRAL with a desperate all-in is doing crazy damage. Dude, what a crazy attack this was. He's just going pedal to the metal, no transition. He says, screw it, I'm just going all out. He does lose a Ravager there to the Banshee and the Stim bio. Stim being done is actually really big. Oh, there's not much reinforce, though, for SERRAL. He loses another Ravager. That Queen's very low. The SCVs need to repair that Banshee. That Queen needs to kill that Banshee. If he can mass repair it, that's going to be big for Clem. Clem's not repairing it, but the Queen goes down. The Ravager's getting pushed out of here. He needs to open the Nidus Worm. SERRAL needs to get out of there. SERRAL just wasted so much mining time, but he couldn't kill the 3rd command center. There's still 2 orbitals dropping mules, and the Banshee, most importantly, holds on, and we've got Stim bio with Medivacs that could potentially counterattack. SERRAL is still building Roaches right now. I think he needs to drone and maybe pull off gas a little bit. He's still got 2 Roaches, 7 Roaches, 2 Ravagers. He's trying to build some Queens. He's going to try and do another attack, but I actually think he could transition off of this. Then again, how is Clem going to defend 10 Marines and Marauder? The Banshee still has not even repaired. But I think he figures, hey, there's probably going to be more Queens. Just don't get hit with that Banshee is the rule of the game. Overlord's going to lay out the purple carpet for this Roach Ravager. If he can get rid of that barracks, that's effective damage right now. Not a good position to be in for Clem. Brings an SCV to repair it, pulls the barracks back. These tech labs being abandoned on the natural. I mean, I'm still amazed that Clem even defended the first wave, and it's purely because he built double Marauder and Concussive right from the start. Very wise choice by him. Queen's coming forward. It's going to take 2 Queen shots to kill that. SERRAL's taking a bit of unnecessary damage, though. I'd like to see him rotate that red hit point Ravager to the back. Queen's going to drop a bit of a deuce there. She's going to say, number 2, spread for you. The only self-replicating poo in the Caprulu sector does come out of the Queen. It is a biologically unique factor. SCV's finally going to repair that Banshee at the very last second. Tank on the high ground. This is unbreakable. SERRAL needs to drone up, but he feels like he's all in. He's overcommitted at this point, and that tank is just going to ruin him. He can't get in range of that tank. There's too much Stim bio, too much firepower. Clem has held on, and SERRAL is not willing to transition. He feels like he's got to make it happen now or never. And it is probably right. The 3rd command center is finished. He's too late to transition. He needs to make something happen now. It's the correct analysis, but he is deep down in a bad situation, and the Stim bio, the number is too high. Clem weathers the storm. Cool counterattack style from SERRAL. Amazing read from Clem, though, to be ready with the Marauders, and he barely hangs on. All right, guys. Well, back to 13 Overlord for SERRAL on a big map, and I like this choice. He's so close to taking Clem down there. I do think after that first Nidus did as much damage as it did, if SERRAL droned and took a third base, I think he was actually in a very decent position. Not amazing, but like, you know, decent. Especially if he saved a few queens, popped them out at home, started injecting, saved a few ravages, that sort of thing. But yeah, even with his first attack, the fact that he kept rallying roaches and slowlings, there was probably a point where he could have swapped into drones and transitioned from that as well. But easy to say from the sidelines when you see everything. Very hard to make that call under pressure. There's no low ground 2 barracks wall off, which I think SERRAL will be rather happy with. Part of me questions, though, is there going to be a small hit to SERRAL's effectiveness with a 16 hatchery build because he's been practicing that 15-15 so much? Maybe. Usually he looks pretty well-rounded and pretty solid, but I imagine we're going to see a bit more of a standard Lingbane versus Bio game. Being up 2-1, I'd love to see Clem open up with Widow Mines and just really parade Biomine off a 3 command center opening. I think that's very hard for SERRAL to deal with on such a big map. And Clem in the driver's seat, taking some risks, dropping left and right, Widow Mines coming in from all sides, doing Widow Mine drops. It's just a great way to take advantage of the wideness of this map, the spread of the bases, and how hard it is to cover every different angle. Leaving on gas pretty long here is SERRAL. So I think SERRAL's wary of a 2-Rax Reaper, so he wants to go very quick Ling speed. Not as super efficient as the advanced Clash opener, the modern kind of most popular ZvT opener. Yeah, and that's specifically the 2-Rax Reaper has been scaring Zergs into going fast Ling speed again, the 2 and 3-Rax Reaper. I like it. Drone does go out to the left, but there's an SCV here and a Reaper, which means that's a dead drone because he can block both extractors at once. And very nicely done. If you stand right next to a gas, there's not enough space to build the building on it. Well done. I think it used to be that if you don't have vision of the unit blocking, so if you run away with the worker, you can then place it, and it doesn't matter if they're blocking it because you've already placed it and it'll push the unit out. But if you can see the unit blocking it, you can't place it to begin with. I think they fixed that in a patch, so it's always blocked now, but I'm not 100% sure. You guys let me know if anyone's tested that recently, because it used to be this funny thing where you're like, oh, they can block it, but if I pull out a vision and then place the extractor, I can get it down anyway. It was like a really weird, rare situation you'd see happen. Anyway, second barracks on the way, so Clem's going to go for a 2-1-1, follow up to the 3 command center build. What a fun series this has been. It's so different. I just love that SERRAL's bringing a very different style. It shows that Clem, I've always said playing standard against Clem is just a bad idea. That's where he's best. And if you can catch him off with aggression, he normally suffers. But hats off to Clem. He's showing very good adaptations to very different styles of Zerg vs. Terran from SERRAL. He's really just adapted nicely. He's showed an understanding of how to deal with various attacks, roaches, tunneling claws, nidus worms. And now as we get into a more standard game between the two, I do really wonder, like, is one player just going to look head and shoulders above the other? Is it going to be like, SERRAL's just going to rock him with Lingbane and we're going to be like, whoa, you should have probably done that in the start. Hey, just screw this silly roach stuff. Or is it going to be the other way around? Maybe Clem's just going to swarm him. Marines picking off an Overlord. Overlord sees 3rd command center, factory starport. So SERRAL knows exactly what he's up against. Sometimes people play single Evo Chamber against this just to get a quick carapace, but I don't think it's necessary. This map has great tank positions. Don't get me wrong, tanks are still decent here. I just think Widow Mines are better. Just 10 Zerglings. Other than that, non-stop drones, 7 queens, 8th queen on the way. Now the trick here, notice SERRAL's pulled all of his Overlords to safety. Except for this one. This one Overlord he should pull back. The reason is he knows there's going to be a double drop of Marines coming very early with this 2-Rax build. So he's just like, okay, pull the Overlords to the dead space. This one's a little bit exposed, but most of them you can see they're kind of close to the areas where they can't really get sniped by those Marines. Reaper Hellion does get a creep tumor in the top left. Has anyone ever dropped a Widow Mine on an Overlord pillar? Well, you can't actually put units on top of an Overlord pillar. you can drop Widow Mines on the sides to shoot an Overlord that's hiding on top of it. And I've definitely seen people use Widow Mines to blow up Overlords before, but not too common. Baneling Nest and Lair on the way. 4th hatchery in the top left. Double drop moving out now. A little slow on the Marine move out. He could have already moved these forward and then boosted the Medivacs to join them on the other side of the map right about now. 3rd barracks is there. Double upgrades trying to start, but a little starved for gas is young Clem. There we go. Always remembers that armor upgrade, though. He's very good at double checking his upgrades. I do like Clem's system where he puts his upgrades on the same hotkey as his command centers. Never built it into my own play, but it's a really cool way of doing it. Okay. Marines not really able to get through that wall of queens. Double Evo chamber coming up, which means the upgrades will be about 40 seconds behind for SERRAL. Doesn't have the gas for both upgrades, so he just starts with the most important upgrade, Carapace. So he cancelled melee, started Carapace, realizing that's the one he's got to focus on. 7 more drones coming in. SERRAL is playing a 1, 2, 3, 4 gas style, very mineral-focused style. That's going to give him lots and lots of Zerglings, and he does remember to start +1 melee, so yeah, 45 seconds behind on that. Creep Tumor not quite able to get taken out by that grenade, and it will regenerate before another one can land. Watch out for the queens. They could focus those Medivacs down. Clem, good careful play though, not giving any hit points away. 2nd factory at the 3rd base. 4th and 5th reactor goes down. Where's that armory? He's going 2nd factory before armory. This is going to slow down his 2-2. Guys, usually you always go armory before thinking about a 2nd factory or a 3rd command center. This is an odd deviation. He's also building siege tanks instead of Widow Mines right now, and he seems to have forgotten his armory. Clem and forgetting upgrades on this map brings back that game versus Rainer from Gamers 8, where he forgot the upgrades for so long. He does start the armory now, though. Better late than never. Double tank drop on the left side of this map. Great position. Queens need to get out of there. Those Marines are a problem. 1 queen goes down. Zerglings take a tank shot. Bigling, Bane flank ready on the right side to pounce. I love that SERRAL was already ready to do this. He knew this sort of push, high chance of it coming. He's ready to spring into action and jump on top. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. No, yes, no. He's way too close to the Terran right now. He's got to make up his mind, guys. The reinforcement is about to come. The hatchery's almost dead. He does pull the trigger. SERRAL dives in. Great pickup by Clem. The tanks also focus the Marines. He gets rid of the tanks, does SERRAL, but he loses so many units to do so. That's the power of those siege tanks and having enough Medivacs to pick up your Marines. Now he's swapped into Widow Mine play. Wait, what? He swapped into Widow Mines, even with the Tech Lab factory. Interesting. So it was just a few tanks to start, and then swapping into Biomine. Cute adjustment from Clem. I like it. 5th base going up in the bottom for SERRAL. He's got a Hive on the way. There is no Hydroden. He is just playing Ling, Bane, up towards Hive Tech. No Hydroden. I think it's going to be Ultras. This looks like an Ultra style. Mostly Mass Ling Bane, and who knows, maybe he won't even bother with Ultras. He could just play Ling Bane Viper, try to get the fast Adrenal. He's so low on gas right now, though, because of those Banelings. He starts +2 melee, does not start Carapace, and that's a problem. He should have been able to close the upgrade gap, but he didn't start his 2-2 straight away, and now Clem is back ahead. 40 seconds on the upgrades with +2 Carapace, not even started. Widow Mine gets a killer shot. 18 Zerglings go down. Banelings clean up what cannot fit in the Medivacs, but Clem is taking positive trades here. And that +2 melee has not started. SERRAL, sorry, not realizing that. This is very bad for SERRAL. SERRAL fans, clutch your butts. Okay, there we go. We clutched our butts hard enough, and he somehow heard our clenching and did actually start +2 Carapace. Hive is finished now for SERRAL. He doesn't have any gas to build Vipers or Adrenal. He needs to make sure he has an abundance of Zerglings, and generally against this sort of Biomine play, getting some backstabs in can be very powerful, but look, he's got a safety tank, safety Widow Mine, another Widow Mine in the natural. Like, he's got a 4th going up. Clem's very well set up. He's going to 8 barracks. Drilling Claws on the way. And a Widow Mine drop does come in the bottom. I don't know if it killed any drones. He's only killed 3 drones this whole game. So that's just going to chill for now until SERRAL's distracted elsewhere. Triple drop in the top left being annoying. A few spores are building, which is always good to see for SERRAL. Ling Bane in the bottom engaging. Oh, okay. Good spready from SERRAL. Oh, lovely defusing micro. Sets off a few of those for next to nothing. Clem trying to come forward. SERRAL will jump on top, though, and there is still one more Widow Mine you got to watch out for. But good dodging by SERRAL. Cleans it up. Overseer's down here as well. Remember, he has Overlord speed, and now his first Viper starting up. 80 drones versus 80, though. Hydroden only now beginning for SERRAL. Has SERRAL started any more gases? Just a single So he's still, he's going to 6 gases only. Oh, Lingbane catches a few Marines. Clem not watching. Clem starting his 5th command center as his 6, 7, 8 barracks all finish with tech labs. Widowmine drop finds its way to the top left. Not finding any damage yet. Serral's a bit too fast for that. Oh, that Widowmine did get a few Zerglings at least. That Widowmine a few Zerglings as well. It's really just wasting mining time. Oh, it's actually a different Widowmine drop. The other one's still down here in the bottom. Queens deflect it. Look at that, Serral. Oh, that whole position spready. Widowmine does unburrow and get out of there. That medevac goes down also. Okay, we've got another bio mine drop coming down the right side. Does feel like Serral's just been defending all game. That's scary. I do not like sitting there defending against a guy like Clem. Oh, Lingbane rolling forward right now. Oh, watch out for these Widow Mines. I like that. The Banelings just cleared like 4 or 5 Widow Mines. Clem tried to unburrow the mines so they wouldn't fire, but the Banelings took him out nonetheless. Still a few Widow Mines in the back that haven't fired yet, but he only goes in with a handful of Lingbane. Parasitic Bomb and Widow Mine splashes, getting a lot of those medevacs very low. Great handling by Serral. He's still got a Lingbane squad in the top left. He's trying to secure this base number 6 versus the 4 base Clem. If he loses it, it's not the end of the world. It's more about taking efficient fights than anything right now for both players. And Serral, he's only down 3,000 units in the resources lost. Not too bad for a Lingbane versus Terran game. Queen's taking out the lid. The Lingbane needs to push back the bio though. My god. Liberator does go down. This bio mine right on the edge of Serral's territory. Such a stressful situation. +3 carapace starts, +1 ranges on the way. First Hydra upgrade is about to finish. Second one is already queued up to start. Viper's going to keep peppering. The Marines go forward and they get the Viper. Lovely play. He immediately splits off the Viper that was hit by the Parasitic Bomb. The Lingbane's finally going to push him back. Clem has to fall back, but look at this. Clem has already F2'd the top. You can see he's diving there. He says, ha-ha! And if Clem's army was forward, he could have actually intercepted this and punished Clem for shoving the left without any micro. He basically just walked right up and gets a massive Widow Mine shot for that. Oh, dirty, dirty Clem. Serral kind of punishes him a little bit, but not as much as he would have liked to. Queens. He's still got 6 queens, but that's all 6 of them. Now only 5 queens. Luckily for him, a few Hydras are being mixed in, and he needs them because those Liberators are causing issues. Still nothing able to hit Clem on the backstab paths. He's got a Planetary on the right, still got those Widow Mines and the safety tank, and Clem is floating a 5th base out. Serral somehow kept his 6th base alive during all of this. Clem has something to say about it, though. He's going to come in. He's still got that Widow Mine on the right side. Very hard to see that Widow Mine. It gets a big, juicy shot. 2 of the medevacs deep in the red. A lot of the bio gets surrounded on the left. The Widow Mine is going to take out a few of those Zerglings. Oh, these red hit point medevacs saving units at the last second. Units lost time right now, 16,500 for Serral, 12,500 for Clem. Clem continues to trade better, but pretty much in line with what's expected in this matchup. It is tooth and nail, very much just down to who plays better from here. There is no big lead. Serral's up 10 workers, but his Lurker Tech's nowhere near, and he's going to need Lurker Tech really to take advantage of this biomine style. That being said, there's no ghosts out yet, even though the Ghost Academy's been finished. What a fascinating game. Clem setting up these fights. I don't know how Serral hasn't taken worse trades considering how oppressive these sort of situations can feel, as there's a great Widow Mine hit from the bottom though. Viper with another Parasitic Bomb there would have been great. Those medevacs are so damaged. Keep in mind, 4 medevacs have died this game. Clem never wants to give up momentum to repair these medevacs. He never wants to pull back to repair them. And that's why a lot of people are like, just repair them, just repair them. But for him, he feels if he does that, Serral will spread creep, get control, and get unstoppable. He doesn't want to give him any room to breathe. In a moment like this, he technically could pull the SCVs, quickly mass repair them, and go back to being aggressive, but easier for us to say on the sidelines. Hard to execute in the heat of the battle. He's got a lot of other things to focus on right now. Widow Mines getting good hit on the Vipers to scare them back, and scares back the Lingbane on the front as well. Serral still has an army defending in the top left, ready to deal with those Marines if they do run in on that side. Lingbane Viper here. The Viper's unable to get in range for that Parasitic Bomb. The Lingbane's doing some lovely spreadies for Serral. +2 range and his first Lurkers are morphing right now. 3 Widow Mines building at a time. More and more command centers. He's building turrets everywhere as well. How many factories we got? Still only 2 factories, and it's just Ghost Biomine. This is a style where you can control the map all game long as Terran. You don't have tanks for safety. You don't really have anything to lean back on. And as a result, you are very fragile. He's building all the upgrades, you know, all this stuff, but where's the Hellbats? Where's the tanks? They do not exist. And that's simply the way this style operates. You just don't have as much of those safe things like tanks to defend as normal. Parasitic Bomb, great split by Clem, only loses 1 medevac once again. These Vipers get value, but it takes them a long time to get it against someone who splits as well as Clem. Widow Mine's getting cleaned up there. They do get a few shots, but nothing too crazy. trying to pick up and save these Marines. Pull back. There's a Widowmine for safety. And another great shot there for Clem. The bottom right side looks like a drop did get deflected. He finds Serral's bottom right corner base. Serral going up to 8 bases right now. But on the left side, look at that. Serral's whole army got pulled to the bottom right for a moment. He splits back to the left with a massive Hydra Bane. It's a very effective little army, especially if he could flank this medevac. He comes from the right. He sandwiches that. He kills these drops. But Clem is doing such a good job of keeping him back and keeping the map control. Serral's not finding those opportunities. Oh, beautiful Ling spread. He diffuses all of those. Serral's going to find the planetary. Oh, this is huge. This is huge. Clem losing his base number 6 on the bottom. And that's it. It's not too expensive for Serral to do that. He's got his own base number 9 in the top left going on to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, base number 8 for Serral, sorry. Up against a 5 base Clem is trying to secure a base number 6 in the top. Infestors and Burrow on the way. That's going to trap these units. I feel like Infestor Burrow is so good for punishing this style. As are Lurkers, because there's no tanks and there's only 7 ghosts. Surprising to me that he hasn't gone for Lurkers yet, guys. I know he morphed 1 or 2, but I think they just got sniped and then he didn't build any more. Thinking ghosts are here, and that's a good enough answer. Does lose this top base. Serral, careful with the micro. His units do get stuck behind the mineral line a little bit. He's coming in from the right as well. Those Lings are getting hammered by the Widow Mines, but at least they set them off before the Banelings come in. The Widow Mine on the right side does do just as much friendly fire as anything else. EMP and sniping down the Vipers just by clicking on them with the Bio Ghost there. This is a very good set of fights for Clem. Look at that. He closes in from behind. 10,000 resources lost ahead now is Clem. Clem's done a lot of damage. Serral says, oh crap, a lot of my army's in the bottom right. I better do something with this. And he could run in. If he can get Banelings in that mineral line, clear the command center and Sense Tower, he could definitely put a bit of hurt on Clem to get some revenge, but he's afraid of the planetary right now. He's moving towards the rally point. I love the Lurker. He's going to move the Lurker in the bottom for a harassment while trying to shove the natural. The Widow Mines are going to get taken out by the Hydraling Bane. The Lurker is there, starting to siege up those SCVs. Great harassment here by Serral. He's got an Infestor out now as well. Liberator Ghost Army still in the north for Clem. Notice how Clem does not panic F2. The evolution of Clem in the late game of this matchup really is he used to F2 all the time. He doesn't do it anymore. He's a completely different player as a result. Lurker plus Overstim Marines. Almost a recipe for disaster, but Clem does end up winning the fight. Okay, this is crazy, guys. There is so much going on right now. We've got Clem. If he wins this game, he wins the series, but Serral is putting up a very good fight. The Planetary takes out some of those Zerglings. This Bio-Ghost lib position still feeling kind of scary, but I love this. Serral's going around. Oh, there's a lot of Terran there, though. Lots of Biomine lib coming in. This might be a bad idea for Serral. Widowmine does a great shot there, abducting the libs to try to deal with them. A few of them unsieged to try to run away. Nice move there for Clem. And guess what? Clem took out this base on the left as well. That was not a great move for Serral. He's now down 14,000 resources in the units lost. I like the idea, but this is actually a smaller army on the left than he realized. This was the weak point of Clem. This army exposed on the left, but he sees a few lib zones, he sees a few Widow Mines, and he overestimated the strength of Clem. Serral is reset here now to having to take this base on the bottom. They're getting split top and bottom. But that means that base is very vulnerable. Clem's going to dive it. And these Liberators are adding that little bit of problem. Remember, they have advanced ballistics now. Liberator goes past the spores. Lingbane Hydra comes forward. He has the numbers to defend this base. He's going to go for it. Look at that Fungal! Unburrow Fungal. He gets focused down. Doesn't get the parasitic bombs off. If you get the parasitic bombs there, all those medevacs either die or take massive damage loading those units up. But great responsive right-click on the Infestor into EMP on the Vipers. That just saved Clem's bacon. Clem would have lost so many ghosts there otherwise. Clem, with that reactive micro, that speed, doing very well. Liberators on the right side still looking for harassment. The one in the bottom right finally getting cleaned up by a Spore Crawler. 10 drones did go down to that Liberator in the midst of that. And a single Zergling burrowed right now, denying that command center. Serral does unburrow it. That's probably a mistake there. I think he meant to reburrow it, probably. Here we go. He's coming forward. Lingbane Hydra trying to march forward. The Liberators are a bit exposed at the front. They're starting to fall. I think the Banelings could chase. I think he could have pushed through there. Serral doubting himself maybe a little bit. Scan cleans up the Zergling in the top left. Clem will be able to land that base whenever he chooses to. Widowmine gets a good hit on the Lingbane. Serral doing a bit of the in and out, but this is only a small army. Clem is pushing with a handful of units, and Serral is over-respecting it. This is the power of Clem. The man attacks when he has no business attacking. 3 Liberators, 8 Marines, and 6 Ghosts are keeping Serral's entire army at bay in the bottom right side of the map. Serral finally pulls the trigger and goes, wait, really? That's all you have here? He realizes he could have broken this a minute ago. He did not need to respect this that much. And Clem is getting so much value out of this. He is now almost 20,000 resources ahead in the units lost. His trading is getting out of control. Serral cannot keep up. EMP is landing on the Vipers again. The Vipers have been absolutely trucked in this series. The Planetary gets up in the top left side. The Vipers just keep getting EMP'd. They can't get that value that Zerg is so reliant on. CLEM just grinds SERRAL down with the non-stop biomine ghost play like an absolute savage. CLEM gets the 3-1 victory over SERRAL in an awesome series. GG, well played.